Can you talk about contingent fees and maybe why it's a win for the customer or the client?
No, absolutely. That's a great question. So, what we typically see in both commercial real estate and personal property appeals, right? That's what I focus on, or doing the appeal work. When you get a value that you don't agree with, you file the appeal, and then we go through the process to come to a more reasonable value. We call it success fees, right? It's also known as a contingent fee. You may see it with attorneys. And why we think it's a good model is we take on the investment, right? We're putting in the hours, we're taking on the initial investment
Yep.
around the risk associated with that to give you back benefit, right?
Mhm.
And whatever benefit you received is equal to our portion of that benefit. It's going to vary, right? In Texas, you can see contingent fees range from 20% on the low end to 50% on the high end. You could have a $400 million office building at 20%. It's going to be on the lower side because of the value. You might have 50% on certain residential. So it definitely varies, but it also equates to how much time, effort, and money I'm going to risk on the front end.
Yeah.
I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to invest in appraisers,
Mhm.
invest in attorneys to get you that result. So we think it's a very successful model for what we do, because if we don't win it, if we don't save you money, you don't pay us.
It is important, right? So if you have someone that's going to represent you and let's just say person A is 40%, person B is 50%. Okay.
Right.
Talking about residential here.
Sure.
Don't just necessarily say, I'm going to go with the guy that's 40%. Is it 10% less? Yes. But what really matters is your net effect. So that's where it comes down to doing your due diligence, the integrity, the character. If it's like I say, it's going to sound like I'm really harping on these companies that they're marketing companies basically that happen to be in this sector. They might do it at 40%, but I will tell you that their net result will not be the same. It's in some instances, it makes more sense to pay that extra 10% because you will walk away with more.